Best.Podcast.Ever is sponsored by the Gertzberg Law Firm, a full-service business law firm in Cleveland and Chagrin Falls that's changing the way businesses retain their attorneys. Go to gertzberglaw.com to learn more. While you're there, check out Cover My Six, a complete legal audit of the 6 areas that most often create or prevent business lawsuits and government investigations. Go to covermysix.com to learn how we keep you safe. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the best podcast ever recorded.
It's how you react to people. It's how you treat people. It's how you go about every aspect of what you do in business. That's what makes us different. I really honestly care what people think about KMK.
Hi, Molly Kepler.
Hi, Alex.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm alive. I'm
Amen.
vertical.
Amen. How
Know what
about
I mean?
the Notre Dame burning down? Did you hear that today?
No.
Yeah,
What do
the
you mean?
Cathedral of
Like
Notre Dame.
the one is in France?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true. Yeah. I don't know any details. Somebody just said, do you know that this is happening right now?
This is news to me.
I know. It's breaking news right now. But
well,
by the time people
It's
listen.
going to be old news. And yeah.
But hey, it was breaking news to me.
Interesting.
And that tornado, did you survive the tornado of 2019?
What is it? The bomb diggity? What's it called?
What are you trying to say? I don't know.
Like all the latest winter storms, they've had weird names for the bomb.
It did blow in and out. I mean, it was pretty fierce. And of course, I'm on the phone. I'm in Mayfield with the babies, and my other daughter's in Kent, and she's on the phone, and she's like, yeah. And we're watching the TV, and it's coming through Kent at this point. And Emily's like, yeah, it's coming right through. And then she shows me outside, and every college student is standing outside in it. Like literally pouring rain, just standing right outside.
This was today?
This was yesterday.
Yeah, I do know about that.
Yes.
Because I watched young Jacob play lacrosse at Hawken yesterday from 9 a.m. till 1 in the afternoon, and I was freezing. It was snowing and raining sideways, and those poor kids, man, I mean, they played 3 games, and they were in shorts and these like drenched hoodies. I was amazed.
Well, good for them.
But the parents were all standing outside with umbrellas, freezing.
Well, it did. It rolled
ridiculous.
in. I mean, it got poured rain, turned black. I mean, it was.
And then like
intense.
4 in the afternoon, it's like 68 degrees.
I know. So we had a fun night. Did you have a fun night on Thursday
I had
at
such a
Urban
good time.
Vintner? It was a fun crowd.
That was a fun
It
crowd.
was a fun crowd.
Yeah, I really like that wine too. Hey, who knew, like in Willoughby,
Downtown Willoughby, and it like in the industrial. It wasn't like downtown
it's
Willoughby.
not
It was
downtown
kind of
Willoughby.
off the beaten path there.
it's like, Urban Vintner, and it's in a complex of automotive repair shops. It seemed like
it was interesting.
right?
It was interesting. Hopefully, we'll get him to open second shop out in Chagrin. We could be a little closer.
So what? There were like 8 people around a cool table, all tasting wine that was manufactured right there in Willoughby. And I learned a couple things that night,
What'd
Molly.
you learn?
I learned a phrase from you.
From me?
Yeah, you caught a pretty nice buzz that day. Do you
Did
remember?
I?
Yeah, you were drunk when I got there. I mean, drunk is a relative. You were well.
I was feeling my oats.
You know what phrase I learned from you that evening?
I'm afraid to know.
Leave shaming. Do you remember?
But tell me.
So
Me not remembering has nothing to do with
shocking.
anything, right?
So So when, and I think you said that you just coined it that night, but leave shaming is when somebody says that they have to leave the party and they have to go, and everyone's like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?
That is so good.
We're just getting started."
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That
And
was Nicole left.
Nicole left, and everybody was like, "Come on, Nicole," and you were like, "Don't leave shame, Nicole." And I looked at you like,
I would be a supporter of leave shaming.
You have leave shamed me many times.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
But I wrote it down.
That. Yeah.
I wrote it down to talk about it today because I thought that was one of those great currently unnamed activities that we do.
Leave shaming.
Right?
Yeah. Feel free to use it out there, everybody.
Well, and then we talked about that other phenomenon where when someone waves at you and you wave back, but then you find out that they were really waving at the person behind you.
And you called it?
Nellie came up with, actually, Nellie and I called that the fwave.
Which is like a fake wave. Is that kind of how you got to that?
It's a mistaken wave.
Got you.
Yeah. So the person waving at the guy behind you is being genuine, and you are being genuine.
And the person behind you is probably being genuine back at that person.
I think I had a fwave today at Heartwood. Yeah. But I was the one. I was not mistaken. Somebody waved at me thinking that I was waving at them, but I was waving at the person behind them.
And there's got to be, because I had an episode also where someone was standing we were gawking we had a little truck flip on Grove Hill today, and we were gawking outside, and I turned around and I went to wave to someone that I know and who knows me. He was on the corner but didn't see me. Yeah. So it was like an awkward... There was no return. So we need a word for that. Like when you wave to someone and maybe they don't see you or they don't return your wave. I need something for that. So think about that.
I will.
But anyways, good time. I think it was a good time.
That was a good time.
That was fun.
And that was really good
wine. Good crowd. I
feel like I saw a side of Jessica that I don't usually see too.
She was letting loose a little.
She was letting loose. She was cool. She was very, I remember she was very open and obvious when she did not like a particular type of wine.
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad because, obviously I have the connection with the owner.
Yeah.
I made him.
That's right. You did.
I did make
him. He was like your high school prom date or
freshman dance.
Well, he was a freshman.
Date.
You were.
I was a freshman. We graduated together. Yeah.
You made him, huh?
I made him. And he'd be the first one to tell you, everybody. So
he told. He did.
He
did. He told
fact
all of us.
check it all you want. But yeah, so if there was something I didn't like, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't offend because the maker of the wine is standing right there with us.
Yeah. No, that was fantastic.
It was fun.
And I guess they're open to the public on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks, do yourselves a favor. You want to see some? You want to check out some locally made wine, which is very good. And I'd like to think of myself, Molly, as a little bit refined.
Okay.
Having a refined palate sometimes. Okay. And I will say that was pretty good wine.
I liked the something reserve. It was a.
I know the one you're talking.
It was a.
It was
a red.
It was something paw.
And it was a zin and a something. I don't know, but yes, I enjoyed that one.
I recall that the wines they all had like a reference to puppies and dogs and stuff, right?
Well, a couple of them because that's called their Muddy Paws line.
That's it.
And a portion of that, $1 for each bottle, which you weren't there yet, but $1 from each bottle goes to Rescue Village.
I did not know that.
Yes, and you can get that at I believe at Heinen's here.
Interesting.
And Bainbridge Reserve.
Urban Vintner
or Muddy Paws. Yep.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I have big breaking news.
I'm sitting down. Let's go.
My book is printing tomorrow.
Whoa, this is huge. So that means that as of the listening of this podcast, your book printed a week or two ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow,
I
congratulations.
can't promise it'll then go to the binder.
Oh. Okay.
And then we're going to take a field trip to the binder, which I'm super pumped about.
Where's the binder?
He's in Bedford.
Okay.
Local guy. But you're at his disposal, so you don't really know like when the book's going to be bounded. But Ron from Windjammers said that he would, as soon as it happens, he'll call me and we'll take a trip out there and maybe get some video of it. But I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. That's huge.
So excited.
That's huge.
I was going to bring you the mock because I have like the mock, but I want it to be total.
I'll be happy with my autographed copy, please.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure. Yes, and stay tuned because my signing will be very unique.
Well, so are you able to now tell us the title of the book and the co-illustrator or?
Well, my illustrator. I had absolutely nothing to do with the pictures other than here's what I love about it. You
conceptualized it.
Yes, and I love that because these stories have been written for about 3 years now, and I think the podcast can prove some of the timeline of it because I've been talking about it for a while. But you just got to find that right person.
Yeah.
And we all know my head and how crazy the shit that's going on in there is.
It's a garage sale in there.
And I like to think of it as an estate sale.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Sure.
But you got to find that person who's going to take those ideas and get them on paper.
Right.
And she did a brilliant job at doing that.
And her name?
Her name is Lily Winan.
Is she in high school?
She's a sophomore in high school.
Chagrin Falls High School?
Wow. Yes. So
nice
just
job,
wait
Lily.
until you see her. And we're already on number 2. Actually, she's working on number 3, but because I haven't finished number 2, but we're going. Yeah.
Did and the name of the book?
I'm not going to release that yet.
Well, why don't you say it? Because as of this,
it'll be in hand by May 1st, guaranteed. So
okay, I got an idea.
I don't know
if this podcast. Well, how about this? Why don't you tell us, and then you can authorize Nellie and John to either leave it in or cut it out.
All my books are about, all 4 that will be released this year are about traditions in Chagrin Falls, and I'll let everybody kind of mill on that. But it'll be you'll see me, and you'll be able to purchase them on a piece of mollysmind.com.
Wow.
And everybody will be happy to know that I have a contract with my illustrator thanks to the Gertzberg Law Firm.
Did Mr. Friedman take good care of you?
He did take great care of me.
Good.
He didn't lawyer up as I instructed him sharply about.
He didn't over-lawyer it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 12-year-old. I mean, obviously it's with her mother.
Right.
But, we had agreed on things prior to, so it was easy to be able to take it to Jean and say, okay, this is what we've already agreed upon. I don't want, but then he knew the things that needed to be in there that would protect me as well, without handing it to them as a 20-page document and having them be overwhelmed. So
they have good lawyers over there at the Gertzberg Law Firm.
Law Firm, I'm telling you, they knew how to do it.
Do you have plans to put this book out on Amazon?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
In the sense that you will not, or you don't
not
currently
right now.
have plans
Not
to?
right now. I don't have plans to. There'll be a few copies at Fireside Bookstore.
Right.
But I'm going to be honest with you. It's they take as they should, but they take a large portion of the proceeds. And, when we're already in it, and I am being very generous to my illustrator, so, it will be best if you go to a piece of mollysmind.com and purchase it directly from my website, so that Lily can get her portion, I can get mine, and I don't know. We'll see.
Will there be a book signing?
Yes, in a very fun way, and I'm working with the powers that be right now, and that's going to be super, super fun. Super pumped about that.
Will there be dancers at the book signing?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Sure.
For real?
There probably will be people dancing.
I love it. Oh, you should totally have a book signing / disco party. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I don't know if that goes with the,
Just do it. Who cares? Just throw a disco party.
The fourth one, which I'm pumped about, will come in a gift set. So that you'd be able, and it'll be around the holiday, so you'll be able to get all 4 of them in the gift set.
Yeah. Molly, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I just can't wait for you to see it. It is just, again, it's just, and it was the same thing with the documentary. You have it going on up there, and it's just so exciting to see it on paper.
Here's what I know about you, because I also know it about myself and about creative people, is the skill sets and the parts of your brain required to generate an idea, implement an idea, and then all the infrastructure around the idea to get it out there are all in different parts of your brain. And the only way to get it done well is to surround yourself with people who are good at those other things.
Yes.
Right? Which
Absolutely.
You obviously have done that. You definitely have the creative part down. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you've surrounded yourself with a good team here.
I did.
My point.
I did.
Good.
I did. I mean, when I put, I don't want to be the author, the illustrator, the publisher, and the editor.
Yeah. Did that come out insulting at all? That wasn't meant to be insulting.
No. I mean,
good.
And I'd be the first on the collaboration with the documentary. Same thing. I surrounded myself with, that idea was 5 years of thought and process, and it wasn't until I found the right production company to partner with that it became a possibility. And there were other people that wanted to do that documentary, and it wasn't, their vision wasn't what my vision was. And so
did you write all the words in the book?
I did.
Gosh, that's amazing, Molly.
I did.
For someone who
doesn't even read,
doesn't like to read books.
But I will. There's a very cute picture that I will show just you of me reading the story to the twins yesterday.
Oh my goodness,
which is so fun.
Do you want me to just start?
I know. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Molly's Next Project is my Facebook, like the Facebook page that we will, because I didn't want to name it after the book because we haven't released the title, and I have 4 different ones coming out. So we just thought we would make it Molly's Next Project and start releasing little fun things.
Interesting.
There, so like that, please.
Yeah, and you can use that for for like when you start sculpting and pottery and whatever.
Right. No pottery, no sculpting.
What is the age? What is the target age range for the readership?
Born.
Okay.
It's something that a child could learn to read at the beginning of reading.
So like toddlers.
And I would say up to 6, because don't they learn to read when they're like 6? Preschool?
Yeah, or 5, sooner 6. Or earlier. Yeah, 5, 6.
That's what I would say.
Unless you're one of those like crazy parents that starts teaching them when they're like 2, which you know who you are, parents.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So speaking of parenting.
Well, so I took Maya to the Kenston High School production of Seussical, the musical.
Oh,
Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
It's amazing. It's so good. And the Kenston High School students did an amazing job, and everyone, the teachers and the drama people, everything about it was fantastic. What was crazy is that getting Maya to sit through 2 hours of anything is really impossible, and for me, and they managed to do that.
Did she sit and enjoy it?
She was captivated. Oh. What's interesting about, so there was an intermission, and maybe that helped. And during the intermission, we're walking out so that we could go to the potty, and
you or her?
Both. And she said,
"Do you take her into the men's? How does that work?"
In this case, I took her into the family. Thank you, Kenston High School, by the way, for having a family restroom. Yeah. So if there's one available, that's my preferred. Okay. Because I don't know if you have seen a lot of men's rooms, Maya. Oof. I'm guessing you haven't, not recently anyway.
Who would want?
Well, the ladies' rooms are always much cleaner. Mm-hmm. You know, you guys are, like I'm saying, breaking news here.
Right.
Anyway.
I've been at a few.
What was a few men's rooms?
Both.
Wow, Molly.
Yeah.
Learning a lot about you.
Yeah.
What was interesting though was when we were walking during intermission up the aisle or whatever, and I said, Maya, did you like the first act? And she said, Daddy, I really loved it. Here's what was interesting about that. I've never actually heard Maya use the word really and loved together. Right. And this is a weird observation. But it was one of those times when I looked at her and I was like, you just made a sentence that I've never heard come out of your mouth before. And she's 5. And I've thought, I've heard, she's got a pretty wide ranging vocabulary already.
Is she reading?
She's starting to.
Okay.
Yeah. She's 5.5. She's starting to read. But the way that she said it, she said, Daddy, I really loved it. Like that. It just, I don't know. It just kind of caught me. She probably has used that phrase before, but like just the way.
Sound grown up.
Yeah, exactly. It sounded and novel. It sounded like, just like almost a little precocious,
And a feeling like she truly was expressing her feeling.
It reminded me of this time when I told Jacob when he was that same age, or maybe a little older, I said, I'm going upstairs to change and then we'll go. And he goes, Dad, don't go changing just because of me, right? Like that. And I'm sure he had heard it somewhere.
So cute.
Right?
Right.
But like.
Yeah, like on the radio.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean when you hear your kids? You probably haven't heard this in a while. Your kids are all grown up now. But do you remember when you heard them utter phrases that just kind of like caught you like kind of cockeyed and you were like, who are you?
Oh, how cute.
Yeah. I was struck by it. And then it got me thinking too, this is where I was trying to get to. This is why I wrote it down in my podcast ideas note.
Yes.
Right. There was a time when I would walk into my kids' rooms and I'd see them sleeping and I'd have that exact same like feeling of surprise because I would be like, oh man, when did they take up so much of that bed? It seems like yesterday when I laid them down in that bed, I carried them up to bed and it was mostly bed and just a little bit kid. Mm-hmm. And then you get older and then you carry them upstairs and you're like, man, there's almost no bed left. Yeah. Right? Like they're stretching out and you're just like, what happened to,
Very insightful.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was like that. And it made me realize that you kind of have to look for those moments instead of waiting for those moments to just appear, because
you'll miss them. They're happening all the time.
Yeah. And those moments are really easy if you're looking for them. If you remind yourself to look for them. So like Jacob, I was just telling you, we were at his lacrosse tournament on Sunday and there was a moment when he took his helmet off. And he had this giant head of hair underneath. Like he hates getting haircuts. The kids these days, Molly, they really like the long hair again.
Interesting.
You notice that?
Interesting.
But it was just like this moment where when he took off his helmet and there was all this hair underneath, and I was like, man, that kid is like a teenager, you know? And this one image.
And how old?
Jacob is now 13. He just turned 13. And then from there, being placed into that emotional state of wonder about your kids, and that's how I watched the game. The rest of the game, I was in that state of mind where I was like, oh man, he's really good at lacrosse. He was like, man, he was just crushing it in lacrosse. And I was like, I didn't know he was this good. Uh-huh. Or maybe I did, but now I'm starting to, when you put yourself into the right frame of mind, you start seeing things a little bit differently. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like there's this thing, and I think there's a name for this, about how when you're angry at somebody, suddenly you're remembering all the things they've done that pissed you off. And those are the only things that you think about. Right. But when you look at somebody in a loving way or in a sense of wonder and positive feelings, right? Now everything that they're doing in that moment seems like you're seeing it for the first time and it's all wonder. Right. That's kind of how I started seeing Maya and started seeing Jacob in those two settings.
Right.
The point being that if you're deliberate about it, Molly Gebler,
Yes.
right? I'd be curious if you're deliberate about it, it's easy. But if you forget, then suddenly you walk in on your kid and they're taking up the whole bed. And you're like, where did the last 5 years go?
Right.
Can you remember a time with Sam or Emily that you experienced that sense?
I mean, it never ends. I mean, so I'm experiencing it now with Sam being a mom. It's just in a totally different setting. You know, I'm looking at her and she's, you know, feeding the baby and you know, so it's a whole nother like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then with Emily, she's in that graduating, and so, you know, I'm looking at her and that's adulthood and, you know, graduating and moving on to that. So I think you're always doing it, but like you say, you've got to be conscious to be seeing it because it's always happening.
How would you describe the emotion that you have when you see your daughter with her own babies or your one daughter graduating from high school? Is it like surprise? College? What did I just? Is it like, how is it awe?
It's awe. The Samantha is with the babies is awe. It's, you know, I sit back and say, gosh, she's a really good mom. You know, like she's not frustrated when they're screaming, and mind you, there's two of them. So it, you know, and she's just. But she's a teacher, and so I'm also saying, like, gosh, you know, that's why she's probably very patient with her kids at school, and that's why this isn't frustrating her, and then just love. I mean, just complete love.
Is it ever like surprise? Like when did this all happen? Like that kind of feeling?
No, I mean. No, I think that even though I'm scattered in my brain, I think I'm there.
Mindful about that.
Yeah. Try to be. I mean, it just is so fast.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
You know, if you think back to when we were the kids and our parents just had to rely on like a handful of pictures in the photo album to remember those moments. Now we've got, you know, a daily photographic journal.
That's my fear right now. I'm freaking out a little bit about what is the next thing for photos, because right now Facebook has my entire life.
I think it's holograms and videos.
But where I really should probably download all those pictures from Facebook. They have all my pictures. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't have them there and have them elsewhere.
Facebook and also the NSA in Russia. Yeah.
Well, you know, my babies are that cute.
Right.
So are you going to pre-order? Will you be the first pre-order for my
for sure
new book?
100%.
It'll be perfect for Maya.
I can't wait to read it to her. Ooh, I might have the author read it to her. Wouldn't that be something? Oh my goodness.
I would love that. Special. I would love that.
Speaking of, I don't know, what's a good segue to our man Barry?
Promoting.
Oh, I know.
Promoting.
No. How about speaking of creating memories? Right? He's in the promotional, right? Is that a stretch? No way. That was a great segue. I just decided.
Gotcha. Oh, maybe I could talk. Oh, I do need to talk to him actually about. Yeah. Okay.
Barry Jacobson.
Yes.
The man.
I know him.
The myth. The legend. President and owner of KMK Promotional Sales. What do you think KMK stands for?
We should ask.
Gosh, I can't even think of any.
Chamber member, and also does a lot of our all the swag in the township hall is done by KMK. FYI,
they're awesome.
Yeah.
They are a local company, and they also, by the way, employ the spouse of a former podcast guest, Drew Tewksbury, who I believe was like episode number 4. Is his wife Cheryl works for Barry at KMK, and she's awesome. She actually sold. So we've bought things from KMK. We got those water bottles that you love.
Yes.
You know, those were KMK, and those we gave away knives, those pocket knives one year.
The pop-up?
Yes, the pop-up cups, the environmentally friendly.
Are you having another party this year?
I don't know. I think it remains to be seen.
It's the debut of the twins, Blossom.
I don't know. We might have a small one. My CFO is telling me to cool it this year, but because we get a little cockamamie and out of control.
Yes.
Anyway, Barry Jacobson, KMK Promotional Sales. They promote businesses to their customers and to other businesses. They were founded in 2006. Expertise in building brands. They
just grew. Yeah. I just went to their place. They took over the business right next to them. So now they expanded their space and yeah.
You know what's cool about them is go to have you been to their website recently?
Yeah, all the time.
It seems like they're always partying. I mean, it just seems like such a fun place, right? Like I mean, even just
Would you like a job there, Alex?
Kind of. I mean, yeah, they're just it seems to be a very fun place to work, and and I know from Cheryl. I mean, when we ordered each year, 3-4 years worth of stuff, it wasn't just that she was attentive and got us what we needed, but it was kind of a fun experience. It was very collaborative and very creative, and so they're very good.
And Barry is just a good guy.
He's a good dude.
He just is we play poker a lot. Well, not a lot, but we play Texas Hold'em together quite often.
Strip poker? No strip poker?
No. Well, I'm sure Barry would want to, right, Barry?
We're about to find out. Turns out we went to the same high school, too. Brush. Charles F. Brush.
I'll be damned.
Home of the Brush Arcs.
He's probably older than you, right?
Probably.
I think he's my age.
Probably.
Which is not old. It's just older.
He looks younger than me, though.
Right. True.
Let's
bring him in.
Let's bring him in.
Barry brought lots of swag.
It's a waterproof dry bag. So you put your cell phone, wallet, whatever. If you can be boating.
Yeah, Alex is a big boater.
Thing is awesome. You roll it down twice and fold it over.
Barry, we love gifts.
We love gifts.
And you've already.
These are good.
Toothbrush. Yep.
Everybody loves those.
Mine,
for sure.
Mine.
So this
and yes,
cornucopia of goodies that you brought, Barry, are all monogrammed with KMK, which that's what you guys do, right?
Promotional products.
Promotional products.
Much, much, much more, but yes.
Yeah.
And Alex would like a job there because he says it looks super, super fun to work there.
You guys look like you're partying on your website.
Sometimes. The girls are hard to control.
Especially that Cheryl.
I know. They're trouble over there.
Very difficult to control.
They're trouble over there.
What's KMK stand for?
I'd like to say I'm creative. What does it stand for, Molly?
I don't.
Take a guess. What could it stand for?
I just figured it out. You go.
Crap.
No, it's not crap.
I know.
It's a K, but it's not crap.
I don't know. What you say?
3 kids.
Katie, Miranda, Kendall.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. But I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that. Thank goodness you didn't call Miranda Kelly.
KKK. Yeah, that would have been a problem. That definitely would have been a problem.
Possibly popular in the Deep South, though.
So did you hear about the breaking news on the Hill today?
No.
There was a big truck that rolled over.
Oh,
breaking
yes.
news.
As a matter of fact, I have a picture.
Everybody has a picture of it.
That was crazy.
Holly texted me a picture.
Yes. Well, the fire department actually did. Oh my gosh! Yeah. If you go to the fire department on
how in the world
Facebook,
did that happen?
They have like a really cool picture on top of the hill looking down.
Apparently, what happened was that
it's a chipper.
The dude that turned over was following the dude that was in front of him. They were from the same. They were together, and then
did he start rolling back?
It flipped over when he rolled backwards. Yeah,
because he had the chipper connected to him, so I'm sure the chipper was probably when he was rolling back, probably going a different way, and
I
then took
I don't
him.
mean thank God he flipped, but if he had gone down further or come across, that could have been really bad.
Yeah. And we heard it at our office, and we said, "Did you hear that?" Yeah. Well, should we go look? Well, if we hear police, we'll go out.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what we said. Yeah.
So, Barry Jacobson, we have a crack research department here at the Best Podcast Ever, and it is our understanding that in recent days, you sold 150,000 mini rubber ducks. Is that true?
Who told you that?
It's,
Crack research department,
that's
man.
what we got going on.
Yes. First time selling mini rubber ducks, and definitely first time.
Is
selling
someone
them.
having a fundraiser?
No. Primanti Brothers, the restaurant chain out of Pittsburgh. You familiar with Primanti Brothers?
I am
They have
not.
a drink called the Drunken Duck. So every drink gets a mini rubber duck on top of
Oh
it.
my gosh! What, in Pittsburgh?
Primanti's is out of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's neither wants to be referred the same, but think Panini's. Primanti's was first.
Oh, and is it like a panini? Like, is that the
it's
style?
the same sandwich. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's a new one on Mayfield Road. It was Panini's, and then they changed it to
Litos or yeah.
something weird.
They
But
closed it.
Yeah.
The same owners. They just
Oh.
renamed it.
interesting.
So they're going to be handing out mini rubber ducks with these drinks?
They put one on the top of every
I
drink.
feel like
they
we
serve.
need to find one of these restaurants and go.
Well, they're coming to Northeast Ohio. I'm not sure where first, but they'll be here. In the
Are
near
there
future.
some in Pittsburgh?
They're
They're all in Pittsburgh.
based out of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's a Pittsburgh institution. Been around
Because
forever.
I'm going to see Queen July 31st in Pittsburgh, and so maybe I could hit one of these
there's
places.
plenty. Yeah.
Okay, Alex, are you getting a little
God, I love
chilly?
Queen.
I think the AC
I want to go
over
see
here-
Queen.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're going to Pittsburgh.
Who is pretending to be
Adam
Freddie
Lambert.
Mercury?
No,
Adam Lambert pretending.
He was
Oh my
on
gosh!
American-
Like
Dude,
Google it.
First of all, stop. I don't know.
Wait, did you just say?
Yeah, you were allowed to
You're
swear.
allowed to swear.
Right, John?
I don't have the pop culture knowledge that you
Oh,
do.
Adam Lambert, and Google him.
And who's
He-
Adam Lambert anyway?
American Idol. Thing.
American Idol. He.
Perfect for him.
You know
He's
what?
really
You
good.
need to Google. It's not a Queen song. It was when Cher got her Kennedy honors, and he sang "Do You Believe in Life After Love," a Cher song. Oh my gosh, he's brilliant. Yes. So please get your tickets and come with us. We can make it a big weekend in Pittsburgh.
Interesting. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry,
You weren't invited. I was invited.
Oh, you were talking to Barry?
Yeah.
you were looking at me.
Well,
All
no,
right,
you
whatever.
can you're only allowed to come to downtown Willoughby with me. We went to downtown Willoughby. We crossed over Mayfield Road this weekend. It was a big
You know
day.
what they have coming up? I think it's next week or this weekend.
What?
A mac and cheese stroll.
Tell me more.
I don't know. I can
Wait, in
Google it. I
downtown
saw it.
Willoughby?
Yes. Yeah.
That is brilliant. See, that's so brilliant.
I don't know. I never really understood or knew that downtown Willoughby, the old downtown part, was so active with bars and bar goers.
Oh,
so
it's great.
Well, Tiffany and I were
cute.
there, and we were just at a coffee shop. But then we realized it was St. Patty's Day. Man, it was bedlam out there.
I'm sure.
There were so many
But
drunks.
it's always been, I mean, growing up, going to Lake Catholic, that's where where you went.
That was the jam, huh?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Barry's company?
Oh, this is much more
Okay.
fun.
I mean, we could. We could.
Mac and cheese stroll. Hold on. Mac and cheese stroll Willoughby 2019.
I love that idea.
What
So
is
you
that?
just hop into different restaurants and get their mac and cheese. And probably each restaurant is probably doing a special on it or something.
If you buy all 10, if you buy all 10 locations package, you get an amazing souvenir.
Sponsored by Tums. Oh, so here's what you could do. You could go to Barry's business if we want to bring it back to Barry's business, and literally you can get your logo on. I think we've proven here today, and I've taken a picture on anything.
What's the wackiest thing anyone has ever requested a logo printed on, other than a mini rubber ducky?
I'm not going to name the client, but
No.
years ago I did a thong.
Nice.
Women's thongs.
Like in bulk.
Oh, that's excellent.
Like they bought.
Yeah, I mean not thousands, not
That is
150,000 thongs.
awesome.
but
Was there a tagline?
Yeah, I actually Rich Hobber. You know the Hobbers? You know,
See, an attorney?
Yes.
Hobber Poke?
Yeah. So years ago, he got golf balls, and the tag on his golf ball was "Trial Lawyers with Balls."
Excellent.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to sponsor the golf balls for the chamber outing and we can put that on it?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to the CFO. I'm not allowed to spend money without talking to her, which makes sense.
So you can put it on anything. And can we get back when people are saying, what do people want? Can you get back to the dental floss? But here's the deal. Everybody needs and wants dental floss. It doesn't.
Why do you think we got toothbrushes?
I know it doesn't have to be but it doesn't have to be like an attorney can give out dental floss.
Correct.
It's okay.
But you give out things people will
Yes,
use.
yes,
Right.
Doesn't have
and
to be
bring the
related.
nail files
Right.
back.
Well, see, the thing about it is, I think people use different kinds of dental floss. Like, I like the kind on the stick.
Oh my gosh, when you have
don't like the-
corn stuck in your teeth, it's
I like
not
the
going to
sticks.
I'm going to grab the Gertzberg dental floss from my glove compartment and I'm getting that out. I'm not worrying about the sticks or come on. Don't overthink that.
So Cheryl got us the collapsible cups.
Uh-huh.
Those were money. Those
Yes.
were so good because we were helping the environment, but it was also from a marketing standpoint, like it's the We Solve Problems is the firm. We were solving multiple problems. They were getting discounts at the coffee shop, when they brought their own cups.
Yeah.
And that's something that they carried around everywhere.
I did like those, but I like the other things that
The
you
water
got.
bottle was very
the metal
popular.
water
Yeah,
bottles.
yeah.
I like those. What else?
Yeah.
See, you guys are similar, right? I mean, in law, you get to do different things every day. You get
Yes.
new clients, new cases, new challenges.
Yes.
You get to work with multiple businesses. It's the same for us. Every day
that
is
would be
different.
fun.
Every single request is different. Every request is custom.
Right.
Somebody says to you, show me some polos. Well, I don't know. I got thousands.
Right.
Thousands of polos. We got to narrow it down a little bit.
But here's what I love about you when I work with Barry, and maybe it could just be me because he knows my personality too. I don't want to be pain in the ass is my personality. I don't want to be bombarded by 50 million polo shirts. It's not my job. I don't know about polo shirts, but they know about polo shirts. So when I say to Barry, I want a decent polo shirt. I don't want to spend too much. I don't want to spend too less. And then he can give me 3 options. I've worked with people in the past where they left my office and I literally catalogs, samples, the whole that's why you go to somebody so that they could handle that kind of stuff.
Well, and I also recall Cheryl making it very easy by just, saying, all right, what's your budget? And what
they know their shit.
Yeah, and give me like the direction, the idea.
To best represent a client, what do you have to do? You have to ask good questions.
Right.
In order to give good information and do your job, you have to ask good questions. So some people actually get frustrated when you ask questions, but you have to.
Right.
I don't want to, if you just need a dozen polos or 2 dozen polos, I don't want to exchange 10 emails.
Right.
Let's talk it out up front, figure out what you need. You do your job, we'll do ours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's get some vitals here, Barry. How many people you got over there?
11, soon to be 12.
Okay.
New salesperson
Which
starting
is
next
like
week.
leaps and bounds in the last since
3-4
you and I
years.
worked together for leaps and bounds. I said before you got in that you actually purchased or leased or whatever next door to you and
that's been
expanded.
great.
I mean,
You have to admit our office was kind of dumpy.
well, I'm
And
not going to go and say
Well,
that.
yeah,
on
but
the
you
air.
can't.
Okay.
But now you walk in, it feels good.
Oh, it's so
Everything's clean.
yes.
It looks nice.
Yes.
And it makes a huge difference just
Yeah.
how you feel when you go to work.
And Barry and I worked together when I was at Burntwood. Barry, and I don't know if you still do or what the deal is, but Barry did the shirts for Burntwood at that time, the aprons
We
for
still
Burntwood.
do. Yeah, we have a web store. Yeah.
You're here in Chagrin Falls. You're
We
in
have an
Washington
office
Street.
in Westlake as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we had
Okay.
purchased a company out of Avon. We were in Avon for a couple of years and then moved office across from Crocker Park.
How did you get into the business originally?
It wasn't a franchise, right?
No, it's not a franchise. So I had owned a clean supply company, distributor like a state chemical for 12 years, sold my part in 2004, worked briefly with my dad in marketing. Well, marketing, not what we do. What we do is marketing, but it was the marketing of ideas, so promotions. And I realized I didn't like selling an idea. I didn't want my relationship to hinge on one idea. So, even if it's not your idea and you're charged to execute it, if it doesn't go well, that could be the end of your relationship. So It was literally, not even exaggerating, it was the middle of November of 2006. And I said, I got to get back into relationship repeat sales, which is what we do. I mean, we have customers since we opened our door, many of the same customers as well as obviously acquiring new ones. So it was November 15th. I said, all right, I'm going to go into promotional products. My dad's been in marketing his whole life. I knew enough about it. December 4th, I had a space on Bell Street from Shibley.
Okay.
I had a website, insurance, and an office. And that's it. That was it.
And give me the first week of starting your own business. I mean, other than the insurance and all that kind of
when
stuff.
you start a business and you've got kids, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you're in sales, you just have to hit the ground running. And that's what I did.
So you went to past friends, connections?
No. Interestingly enough, no. I never have made a living on friends and family. I do a lot of stuff for friends and family.
Right, yes, you
but
do.
Generally, when you do stuff for friends and family, you're not making any money.
Right.
So no, I didn't. I just cold called. From the sale of my prior business, I actually had a non-compete that prevented me. As a lawyer, you're going to say, what the hell did you sign that for? That prevented me from even calling on my old customers for non-competitive products. I had a former partner who was a little nervous.
Yeah. Because he knew you were going to kill it.
Well, he thought that I would get back into the old business.
Yeah.
And if I kept those relationships with the clients,
right.
As it turns out, this business, started to do well pretty quickly. So I never had an interest or desire to go back into the old business.
So you founded KMK from scratch? You didn't buy it from somebody, right? So
not one client, not one contact, nothing. Contacts.
Right, yeah.
But what was the notion that you had that this was, like, did you have a business plan? Did you have a strategy? What made you decide this is something that I can turn into a successful business?
I think it was just that I knew enough about it. I knew that it was a similar type of sale to what I had been doing previously, completely different products, but it was that relationship repeat sale where I get to see and talk to the same people all the time. And unless, I did something wrong that would cause the client to go somewhere, which I can honestly say I don't know if that's ever happened. It was just the type of sale I wanted, the products I knew enough about. So it was just that combination when I was thinking, what am I going to do? When I sold the prior business, it was 2004. I was a young guy.
Yeah.
Retirement wasn't
You're
and
still
it's not.
a young guy, Barry.
So I just got out after it.
Let's talk about the growth of the business, right? So you start out, you got nothing. You've got an idea.
And what year were we?
It was the end of 2006. 2007 was essentially our first year.
Walk us through the early years. What are some of the growing pains? What are some of the threats, the successes? What stands out?
It's funny. Everybody always asks that question. What are your threats or who are your competitors? We did participate in a large RFP last year, to digress a quick second. And on the RFP was, who do you consider your main competitors? And my answer was, I don't care.
Right.
We don't focus on our competitors.
Right.
We focus on us, what we're doing and how we're doing it to make it better for us and obviously our clients. I didn't have a business plan. I wish I was smart enough to write a business plan. I know what to do. It would be great to get out on paper. But, when you're in sales, there's only one thing you need to do. Sell.
Right. When you think about the first, call it 5-6 years, right? What stands out on an emotional level? Like, are there events or like great events, horrible events? What do you remember from those first couple of years when you think back about them?
I mean, I think there were definitely significant highs and significant lows.
Yeah.
I think what's contributed over the last 5-6 years to our, more rapid growth, and we've grown, I mean, with the exception of last year, which I blame on Holly. Holly in my office, who not only work with, but I'm good friends with, got cancer. And she just messed up our whole year. And we were still not down, but we
love her, and we're so grateful that she's on the mend.
We've had 30+% growth for 4 or 5 years in a row.
Right.
And we're up this year to date, almost 70%.
Well, I think what you're saying is
April.
I know, crazy.
I think what you're saying is Holly deserves a huge raise because obviously she's selling the shit out of it because without her, you're down.
But now
with her, you're up 70.
So if she ever hears this podcast.
Oh, she's going to hear it because I'm going to tag her in it.
Andrew is the next rising star.
Oh, did he graduate?
He's 22.
Oh, my gosh.
All of 22. I know, my mom said, I got underwear that old.
Yeah. So who's running the flagship, or not the flagship, who's running the West Side one?
Bobby, who had his business out in Avon,
works
in the Westlake office. Cindy, who was his right-hand person, works from home a few days a week and comes to Chagrin office.
When was that? When did you take over that one?
February of 17.
Okay, so that could be part of your growth as well, and part of your decline for last year, just kind of getting that up and going.
There was no decline last year.
I mean,
we're up slightly.
Okay.
But for me, up slightly is not good.
The without Holly year.
Yeah, it was last year was challenging. There's no question. It was challenging on multiple levels, but we did good. I mean, we increased the space, we increased our people. We've got more salespeople now. Another one starting, Monday.
Can you think of times in your business when it hockey sticked, when there was a dramatic change upward, a big client or a business idea? Or
there's been both. It's gone both ways, right? So we have multiple clients that we've significantly grown our relationships with over the last couple of years. But I can tell you want to talk about a defining moment. I want to say it was December 10th or 11th of 2013. I was with my wife and kids at the theater. And I got out. It's 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and I get a call from what was our biggest client at the time. And they said, I have to let you know that we're closing the Ohio division's locations effective immediately. I came and found out the next morning that they closed and ultimately filed for bankruptcy, the entire organization. And that was at the time, it was, a couple $100,000 a year in revenues. And, for a small business, it's quite a hit. What was worse wasn't so much the lost revenues, because you can make up lost revenues. It was the large amount of money that they did not pay us.
Oh, yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You don't have, what are you going to do?
Right.
So we file the attorneys. It's probably still going through the bankruptcy court today. Right. I don't expect to ever see a penny. We lost out about $75,000. Which is, for a small business, is an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
But we made up the sales. We made up the revenues in 9 months.
Wow.
Which was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
What it taught me, as a sales guy, as a salesperson, for the most part, forever, you don't necessarily focus on all of the things you should. You're so focused on the top line revenues, but what matters is the bottom line.
Right.
And what I realized is that while that account made the top line revenues look nice, we weren't making any money. So we were killing ourselves on the processes to work the account. So we completely revamped how we work. And no client will ever get out the way they did.
Right.
In terms of...
I always tell, we predominantly represent businesses, and I always tell the startups that, you really have to court failure, because that's how you improve. And you don't really get to tighten up your AR until you've had that kind of learning experience.
Well, I'll tell you, as a business owner, and those of you that have been, there was many a month I didn't get paid.
Right.
My employees always had to get paid. Again, knock on wood, never missed a paycheck.
Fake wood.
Never not paid taxes. Never had any issues, but it definitely taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm much more on top of every facet of our business today than I ever was.
So let's talk about that a little more. So you obviously, when you started your business, you were a great salesperson.
Correct.
And still are, I'm sure. But learning to run your own business and learning to grow your own business, you did that all on the job training, right?
Well, fortunately, I own the prior business. And the prior business I had with a partner, the cleaning supply business.
Okay.
And, we grew from essentially nothing to $3.5 million in revenues in 9-10 years.
Okay.
So the difference was my former partner much better with numbers than I was. I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide in my head, but I'm not an accountant.
Right.
So I handled the operational side of the business in addition to sales. He handled the financial side of the business in addition to sales. So there were a lot of things, yes, on the financial side of the business that I was not good at. I wasn't terrible. I just wasn't really good at it, and it wasn't my focus. Learning, running this business has absolutely taught me. If you're going to own a business, you have to know every single thing about your business. You don't have to be an accountant and you don't have to be an attorney. That's why we have attorneys and that's why we have accountants. But if you don't have a vested interest in what's going on.
Not quite sure why he's pointing at me when he says accountant. Yeah. As I know as we know, I know the Bible.
You're going to be counting your profits off your book sales.
There you go.
You better be good
there you go.
Do you at some point decide that you can't be all things at once? At what point do you and maybe you haven't, maybe you are all things, but do you start slicing off some of those responsibilities because you don't want them or because they're not part of your unique ability? Or
I think all the above, without question, all the above. Any business owner that thinks they can do everything is lying.
Right, and I don't think you were saying that you do everything. I think you were saying that you know everything that's going on.
I ask questions.
Right.
So you have to, you got to swallow your pride. You don't know everything. I've got great people at the office. They handle a lot. So, I'm pretty well-rounded, but I certainly don't know everything you need to know. And you have to have people that do.
Right, right. Is there, in the course of that 12 years, is there something that you can attribute the most, I guess, business knowledge to for this particular kind of business? What I mean by that is a coach, a mentor, a book, a partner, one thing I learned, and it was years ago, and I haven't convened with them in a while, but I have an aunt who owns a small family business in Baltimore, packaging, good business, wicked smart. Baltimore, not Boston.
Gotcha.
But she, I
want to sing that song now.
I talk to her a lot. I ask a lot of questions of her, and one thing she had me do, or didn't have me do, but told me she did, was she had a faux board of directors. So a small business, we can't afford to pay people to be on a board of directors.
I remember you have that.
Right. So I created a faux board of directors, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, of all local people who are better at what they do than what I do. And we would meet once a month. I would buy them dinner. Typically, we were at Burntwood. And we would meet once a month, and I would tell them what's going on in my business. Yeah. It was an open book. Here's my sales. Here's my pain points. One would say, do this. One would say, do that. Another one would say, well, follow up with me tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit more about it. I know I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that was extremely helpful for you?
Huge. I actually, in talking about it now, I should be getting, because you're never done. Right. You're never done learning. You're never done growing.
And I think that they would enjoy getting back together and learning the successes that you've had recently.
They would in a minute. Yeah. I mean, I know if I send an email out right now, they'd all respond by tomorrow morning.
What was the company that you went back to the office and said, holy shit, we got... Other than the chamber, I mean, obviously.
I mean, we're pretty fortunate that, a lot of companies follow that 80-20 rule, 80% of your business coming from 20% of your clients, but we're not so much that way. We don't have one client that makes up more than 10% of our entire business. So while we don't want to lose anybody, if we lost our largest account today, it wouldn't alter. Nobody would have to lose their job. It wouldn't alter how we work. So we're very lucky in that way.
Or excited to get.
Okay, well, recent. In February, Holly and I landed our biggest order ever.
There's Holly's name again.
Right. So Holly helps me with a lot of accounts. So have you been in Giant Eagle lately?
Yeah.
Have you seen the blue T-shirts all over the place?
I have.
So we did 58,000 T-shirts and 14,000 hats.
Wow.
Turned it all around
That's
in
insane.
3 weeks. It was quite a job. I mean, we were super happy. We love, sometimes you have good relationship with your clients, and there's clients you really, really enjoy working with. They're such nice people.
So that was Bainbridge Giant Eagle or Giant
corporate.
Eagle?
The entire, 275
Is that a
different
local
locations. Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, how cool. Lots of Pittsburgh connection. What's your Pittsburgh connection?
Primanti's.
Okay.
So not Primanti's. My customer now / friend, I was working with my dad briefly. It was like 14, 15 months. And I was cold calling on Eaton Park restaurants. So, and it's the same thing I tell everybody, if you can't just quit. If there's something worthwhile, you got to keep going. So I think it was 14 or 16 months I was calling on Eaton Park restaurants. And I'm out golfing with buddies. It's a July in the summer, I distinctly remember. And I get a call and he says, "Hey, this is Kevin O'Connell." He didn't even have to say where he was from. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?"
Calling you for 18
I talked to him like he was my friend. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" He called after that long and we started working with them. And my contact then became another gentleman who left Eaton Park, went to Giant Eagle.
Wow.
Recently left Giant Eagle and is now director of marketing for Primanti Brothers.
Wow.
So that's what I'm talking about in relationships.
Yes.
It's not, what's nice is it's business. At the end of the day, you have to do business because you have to put your kids through college and feed them and do things in life. But I've made really, really good friends, good friends.
So awesome.
Yeah. I always, whenever people talk to me about sales, the idea of selling, I equate to persuading. But I think that's a mistake because people don't like to be persuaded of stuff, right? I think people like to reward relationships or continue relationships. So I tend to try to rewire my brain when I think about selling to building relationships.
Well,
right?
and there's a fine line. How many times have you ever heard a mother or grandmother say, "Oh, my son, my granddaughter, they can sell ice to an Eskimo"? No, they can't.
Yeah.
There's something to say that you have a good personality. But then there's another component in order to actually make sales. You can't just have a good personality because I've had tons of people work for me in both companies. Great guys, great girls, thought they had great personalities, but at the end of the day, they couldn't turn that great personality into sales. Mm-hmm. So there's an intangible component. I still couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But to be a good salesperson, you have to have more than a good personality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, let me push back. When you say I couldn't tell you what that intangible is, you're saying that makes you a good salesperson, right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm good at what I do. And I've seen a lot of people who have equally good personalities. They work hard, but they can't turn that relationship into a business relationship. They can't draw orders out of the clients.
Well,
close the deal. They can't close the deal.
If so, your contact at Giant Eagle, is it like the director of marketing? Their title, what is it?
Multiple. I mean, we work with procurement, we work with marketing, we work with multiple.
If the Giant Eagle Department of Marketing were sitting next to Molly right here, and I asked them what made you buy 58,000 shirts from Barry Jacobson, what would they say? What do you think they would say?
I think that our clients would tell you because we're so easy to work with.
I would
not only are we easy to work with, so there's a difference between, the stereotypical salesman is a pushy person, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you see in movies. That's what you hear. Mm-hmm. We're not pushy. We're politely aggressive, but we're not pushy.
Yeah.
We're easy to work with. Our response time is unlike anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you email, we'll respond within 20 minutes typically. Maybe you don't have an answer to the question at hand, but you respond and say, "I got it. Let me get the information."
I got to tell you, business owners, if you're listening, you need to stop with you have 24 hours to 48 hours to answer an email because it is 2019 and you do not.
I agree.
Because people will have moved on to something else or someone else in 24 to 48 hours. I'm telling you that right now.
In today's world with the new generation of buyers, I agree 100%. People always ask another question is, how's the internet affected your business? I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I would love to have a internet portal, a good buying site like a 4imprint, because you can draw revenues without having the feet on the street, but it's not the type of sales I like. I like to talk to people. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think the internet is just a tool. If you're in the business of interacting with people on a human level and getting feedback and generating creative ideas, the internet's not going to do that for you.
No, but the difference is we're not the upcoming buyers of what it is we do. And the upcoming buyers are here. They like to go on, they like to place their order. They don't necessarily care about personal interaction. Not all, but some. But there's a distinct difference when you need to do something, you focus on what's important at the chamber. You focus on what's important in your business. You shouldn't be doing what we do. That's what we do.
Right.
That's why we can turn around options and a quote within 5 minutes.
Right.
There's a sea of products out there. You're never going to find one on your own.
But so Giant Eagle's not going to order 58,000 shirts off the internet, right? They need that relationship.
Correct.
And what you're doing with your business is, I think, encouraging all of your employees to create those relationships and sell based on those relationships, not just create this commodity that somebody can easily fulfill over the internet.
Correct. And to take it one step further, I want everybody to have relationships. I don't want them to have relationships only because they're going to get an order out of it. I want the person on the other end. So Molly knows when she emails me, she's going to get an answer.
Yeah.
She knows she's going to get what she's looking for. If she doesn't, she's going to pick up the phone. She's going to call. We're going to get it fixed. So it's doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it.
Well, and I'll give you a real life example again with Cheryl. Each of the 3 years that we bought from you guys, I definitely would have dropped the ball each time had it not been Cheryl telling me, Alex, we're getting really close to blossom time here. If you want this, I can make it happen, but you got to stop what you're doing at some point and start looking at the emails I've been sending you.
Right.
So, and that too is something you're not going to get from an internet ordering platform.
Correct.
You really have to have somebody who cares about what you're going to give out to your clients at blossom time.
Do you guys, either one of you, have the little chat button on your websites? Those are my favorite.
I used to. I got
We
rid of
do.
mine.
Our new software we got almost 2 years ago.
favorite.
We have a Talk To feature. It's called Twalk. I don't know why. TWALK.
Very close to another
But if
word.
somebody's in their office, they can just turn that feature on, and yes, you can chat
I
online.
love that.
Yeah.
I love chatting.
Speaking of the seat next to Molly, if young Barry Jacobson of 2006 were sitting there, what would you tell him about the next 13 years and what to expect?
It
and
doesn't
not
have to be young
Getting
Barry.
a wife.
I have not a young Barry. I have a young Andrew. I have Holly's son. He's 22. And I keep telling him, and I'll tell anybody to listen, if you focus on what's going in your pocket today, you will fail miserably. If you focus 18 to 24 to 36 months down the road, you'll be successful. You cannot look at today and make any assumptions or on how life is going to go.
Yeah.
Sales is not an overnight process. It takes many years to build relationships. In some cases, it can take many years to get into a door and then many more years to build that relationship. So it's the same thing I tell Andrew every day. You do the same thing every day.
And I tell that to my girls, not in a business standpoint, in a relationship standpoint. Whoever is in front of you, I will guarantee you they will be coming back around in some way.
Right.
And how are you treating them? And when they come back around, are you going to be embarrassed to see them? Are you going to be excited to see them? Are they going to be excited to see you? Because that's all going to be based on what's going on in that particular moment of seeing them. I always tell them that if they come back and they have discovered the antidote to cancer and they only have one pill and it's you and someone else, are you going to get the pill? Are they going to give you what they've learned? And that would be based on how you treated them.
Right.
If you treat them shitty,
Right.
you're not going to be, when they come back, and they do come back, they always come back.
I tell everybody, whether it's a client we're making a presentation to or the people that work within our walls, if you work within our walls, you have to work a certain way.
What does that mean?
You have to be responsive, you have to be accurate, and you have to do what you say you're going to do, period. The rest of the stuff I can tolerate. People that do things their way, that's the way it's supposed to be. But you have to follow that same philosophy. We're responsive and we're accurate. Not without mistake, don't get me wrong. Things happen. But everybody in our office works essentially the same.
How do you create and then maintain that culture at your company?
Feed them, I give them alcohol, and I beat it in their heads. No, I mean, it's just repetition, right? So,
and you do it by example. You lead it by example. You're doing those things.
I try. Nobody's perfect. Days are stressful. Owning a business is stressful for a variety of reasons outside of what happens outside of work, your personal lives. But I try to. I mean, I truly, I tell customers, we care. So what's the difference? Everyone says, well, what makes you different than this company? We all sell the same products. We all buy them from the same people, right? It's how you react to people. It's how you treat people. It's how you go about every aspect of what you do in business. And that's what makes us different. I really honestly care what people think about KMK.
It reminds me, it's a cliche, but I so believe it. And we talk about it here all the time. People will not remember the result that you get for them as much as they'll remember how you made them feel. It's the emotion that carries the most memory, that has the most staying power. Because it's this, just like you said, like there's 10,000 lawyers in Cleveland and a lot of them are really good.
Is that true?
I don't know. It's some giant number. It's huge. It's a totally saturated.
Was that joke? What do you call 10,000 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean?
Good start.
A start.
A good start. A good start.
But the checklist item for us is: did they feel confident? Did they feel well informed? Did they feel good at the end of the engagement and throughout the engagement? Because a lot of us out here can deliver good legal services, can show up in court, can make good arguments, can write good briefs. But how many of us are going to have clients afterwards that tell their friends about us and who feel empowered and confident and positive?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not only about the outcome.
Right.
So they might lose the case, and that case may have been an uphill battle, or they might have thought it was a slam dunk, but it's how you talk to them throughout the process. Because, you're dealing with people on a variety of emotions, whether it's a personal matter or a business matter. Even the business matters for business owners are personal.
Yeah.
And can
that's how it was
impact.
in the restaurant world. They always would come get me if someone was upset, because it's not about if they had a bad dinner or something that happened with their dinner. It's about how they feel when they left that restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's what you have to make sure. No matter what the problem was, as long as they're going out with a happy face.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
I was kind of good at that.
Do you, this goes back to my question about culture. Is there something that runs through the company? Whether it's like is there a formal training program? Is there a book? Well, he laughed, right?
Oh my gosh.
I said training and he just started cracking up.
Formal. You got him at formal.
Yeah.
Let's say they get thrown right into the fire. I'd like to say our training is good, and I'll apologize to anybody at KMK that's listening to this when it comes out. Unfortunately, it's not. It's not because we don't care. It's because our business moves at 1 million miles a minute. Everything's fast paced. It was literally just like 2 years ago. I'm thinking to myself, why am I always so stressed out? That's because somebody will call and it's Friday at 4:00 and, hey, can you help me out? I need this by Monday. So, I mean, it's, our office, which I think everybody can tell you is, family first. If you have something that you have to go do, you go do it. Everybody gets their work done. There are days it would be nice if some, myself included, weren't popping in and out for various reasons, but I think it's nice that everybody knows that, they have the freedom, flexibility to take care of their family and do what they have to do.
Which I think then in turn gets them to be more committed and more productive. If they're not, because why have an employee sitting there thinking about, oh crap, I got to get to that bridal.
You mean Kristen? You mean Kristen?
Little shout out on someone. If you let them go to the recital, then I guarantee the next day they will be more productive.
Look, I can tell you, growing up with my kids, I didn't miss any of their stuff, and I wouldn't want anybody else to, because there's only one first time.
That's right.
So go do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
On that note, folks, you don't have to press pause, but I'm going to press pause so that we can go do what we got to do. We'll be right back. Hey folks, Alex Gertzberg here. I am CEO of the Gertzberg Law Firm and Cover My Six, and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about something special we're doing at Cover My Six. If you own or run a business, I want you to go to covermysix.com to see if you qualify for a no-cost business vulnerability assessment. My business lawyers will meet with you in person, go over your customer contract, your employee handbook, and your other key legal documents, and help you spot any legal minefields that they see. We'll also give you some guidance on how to stop those minefields from blowing up your business. So go to covermysix.com to see if you qualify and to sign up. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show. All right, folks. You ready for the lightning round there, Barry?
What's my prize?
It's some spatulas
It is
and
a mouse pad from KMK.
right. Your prize is a lifetime of pride,
Nice.
and you will walk out of here with your head held high.
I know nobody can see, but I'm beaming right
I know.
here.
There's no wrong answers. There's no wrong
No,
answers.
okay.
Don't be stressed. Don't be stressed.
All right.
Okay,
You go, Molly.
Barry, what are you binging?
What am I binging?
Yes.
Oh God,
on
if I had to
TV.
think of it. Oh, on TV?
yeah.
I don't really binge anything. My wife does. I've watched a lot of series, but we're in Billions right now.
Oh, I love Billions.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Do you like Shameless?
I love Shameless.
Oh, my God.
I love Shameless.
Shameless
I
is
thought her
autobiographical
leaving
for
was
Molly.
pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really hoping that she'd
But they-
blow shit up or something. Like I especially knowing the behind the scenes and why she was leaving and stuff, I really thought that would come in a little bit. I love Billions. I love
Billions
love
right now.
Billions.
You got to wait a year for them to come out.
I
Ray
know,
Donovan.
but Billions is weekly now, right?
Yeah, it's on now.
That one's.
But we're
yeah.
about 4
I
behind.
love Billions. Have you watched Schitt's Creek?
Have not seen shit.
Oh my gosh, must if you want to laugh. Just hysterical.
Schitt's Creek, all right.
Schitt's Creek.
Give it a
It's
whirl.
with Levy, Eugene Levy.
Oh yeah, from American Pie.
Yes, and his son, who plays his son in Schitt's Creek, is really his son. Barry, your perfect day.
Oh God, I literally I've said it a lot in the last couple of months. I just want one day where there's no stress, where there's no issues, where there's no nothing. I don't know with kids in a business that's remotely possible, but my perfect day would be a day that I wake up, I get to do my job, and that one thing goes wrong.
It's going to be tomorrow.
I hope.
You know what you got to do for that to happen. I know.
Don't go to work.
Don't check your email. Don't call.
So
Tell everybody.
It's funny you say that. I had a customer, and this is maybe a couple of years ago, and you know how responsive I am.
Yes.
So I had a customer that emailed me at like midnight. So within 10 minutes, I responded to the email, and the customer says, just because I email, you don't have to answer. So my reply to the customer was, then don't email me.
Yeah.
If you don't want a response, then don't email
That's
me.
right. That's
I mean,
right.
if I'm awake, I'll always
That's how
respond.
I am,
yeah.
too.
But do you ever have those kinds of days where you put somebody in charge and you say, you look at my email and only call me today if
We
there's.
don't have people like that, Alex.
Well, sure you do. Well, you
certainly
could.
do
You just
that.
don't. You just don't want Jessica looking at your emails.
She can look at it all she wants.
So
but
I
don't have
had
people like that.
2 years ago, I went with friends of ours from here and another couple on a sailing trip. And first time, number one, I've ever sailed, catamaran. You know, I don't know if it's technically sailing, but it's got a big sail, so I guess it is. First time in my life. It was a February. We went for 10 days. I started prepping my office the July prior to that. I'm going out of town. I started telling customers I'm going out of town. I did not look at my email one time the entire time I was gone.
Wow.
I bet
First time
those-
in my life.
I
I
could
did it
never
again
do
last
that.
summer. Every 2 years we're doing it. You know what? You have to.
Yeah.
Because you know what happened? You know what happened while I was gone?
Nothing.
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 Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, that is the thing. It's when you start sending the emails that you break the seal, I call it, and then responses start coming in. You know, if you don't open the emails and respond to them,
Well-
it will stay quiet until you then start responding to them. Then it's a back and forth.
The girls at the office check my email. So they were on my email
Gotcha.
all the time. They do a great job. Hence the point of relationships, right?
Right.
Your customers who become your friends, they want you to enjoy your life. They don't want it to be a constant grind and constant stress. They do. If you really have a good relationship, they get
yes.
it. So
I do. And I'm going to bring this one back. A song you never want to hear again. I love that one.
a song I never want to hear again.
Yeah.
Anything Britney Spears.
Okay. All right.
Good answer.
Oops, I did it again. If I wasn't the owner of KMK, I would be.
I'd own a little joint, a little restaurant joint. Literally 8-10 seats, flip-flops if possible, no shoes even better. That's what I would be doing.
Okay. Where?
Somewhere with palm trees, sand and palm trees. No question.
Hence the flip flops.
That would be That's the answer. That would be my answer.
And why only 10? Just because you don't want the stress of it?
Why
Only
only
10 seats, 8 to 10 seats.
I want small,
Gotcha.
personal. You know,
Gotcha.
where literally if this was the whole place, I'm cooking right here and you're sitting right there.
Okay.
You watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives?
I do.
So when he goes to small places, 10, 20-seat diners, great food, great atmosphere.
That's what you want. Okay. Alex Gertzberg, what do you got?
Barry Jacobson, you are stranded on a desert island. Maybe one with a 10-seat bar at it one day, but not this day. On this day, it's got nothing but sand and jungle. And you're shipwrecked there for a minimum of 3 months. Possibly the rest of your life, but a minimum of 3 months.
You're not going to ask me who.
You may bring with you any single musician's entire discography. And that's the only musician's songs that you will listen to possibly for the rest of your life.
We know it's not Britney Spears.
I like a lot of different kinds of music. I listen to a lot of country. I like some rap. I like some hard rock. It definitely wouldn't be anything heavy metal. I don't know. I mean, I can go one of a couple ways. I can go with some Eminem, but it might get a little bit heavy. Or I could go with Andrea Bocelli.
Wow.
So he came, was it a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? And
I don't know exactly when
you don't know
he came.
do you know who he is?
I was making a joke.
Oh, see, he was
I'm sure he came more often
spectacular.
than last year. Yeah.
Calm, relaxing. I don't know that I could live on an island with Eminem. I do love his music.
To be clear, you're bringing all of their library of music. You're not bringing the actual.
No,
dude.
I know. It's hard. I mean, there's a lot of great artists.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though. I'm gonna have to ponder that one tonight.
Okay. Get back with us.
I think
force
we're
it?
gonna sit right here and wait until Barry gives us the answer.
I think he said.
He's narrowed it down. I do appreciate the show your work aspect of the analysis that you gave.
I think it's gonna be Porcello. What's his name?
Andrea Bocelli.
Yeah, I think it'll be him.
So I was at Beecher Place when they had the National Geographic store maybe 10, 12 years ago. And I was in there looking for a gift for one of my kids' birthday parties they had to go to. And I just heard this song. And if you know the Mirage, which I know you know the Mirage. Yeah. So I heard the song over the speakers. And it was that Conti Party Row. I don't know how to say it exactly. But it was the theme song from the Mirage, basically, and other stuff. I didn't know who it was. I asked the person what's playing, and it was Andrea Bocelli, and it was great.
Love it first.
That would definitely, if it was Andrea Bocelli, that would certainly take your mind off of the problem of being shipwrecked on a desert island.
That would
Eminem, on the other hand, I feel like that would stress me out a little more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some days, I was going to say, if I'm stranded on an island, I'd probably have to have music that's calming and soothing.
Yeah.
If anything,
and some beers.
Yeah, if anything, Eminem would just piss me off even more.
Yeah, I think
I will tell you, I took my daughter last year after she graduated high school. We went up to Governor's Ball Music Festival in New York, and he was the headliner, which is why we went.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really
He's
good.
really talented, that dude.
Really good.
So he's just so angry is the thing.
He is.
You know, he's just
mellowed.
He's
mellowed in
vinegar,
his years.
that boy. Barry, same shipwreck, same desert island, same unknown period of time that is a minimum of 3 months. You may bring with you any single author's entire bibliography.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm not a reader.
Yay!
Wow. You and Molly are like
we're two peas
besties.
in a pod.
Oh my goodness!
Do you know what I mean? Really, the book I read lately was a poker book.
Well, you'll be reading mine come May 1st.
Right.
Big words, lots of pictures.
Yes.
Perfect.
Exactly.
There is a sort of a synchronicity in the fact that the owner of a promotional product company whose job it is to really bring a message down to as few words as possible doesn't read. That kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. You don't need a lot of words. You just need a message. You need a feeling.
Picture and
I have
logo.
books and I have people that have told me to read this or have you read that? And one book, and it was actually Cheryl's husband, called QBQ, Question Before the Question. John, I think it was John Miller, maybe. Short book, but it's all about taking responsibility, not blaming others for the things you do. That's probably one of the few books I've read in the last few years.
I hear you there, Chief.
Barry, what is the habit or routine that you do on a regular basis that has given you the most mileage? I get up and I do the same thing every day. I get up and I work hard. I go home,
I cook, I take care of the family best I can, and that's my routine.
All right.
You know, I think as we get older, I hate to say it, it gets a little bit, I don't know, boring. But, you know, everyone says, how you doing? Oh, I go to work and I take care of my family. But it's not. It's good. I mean,
you sail and play poker?
I do play poker.
Yes.
I like poker. I like to think I'm getting better at it. I'm not quite so sure.
When are we going to go downtown together?
Downtown?
Do you do tournaments?
Yeah.
You do tournaments down there.
Yeah, or the cash games, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Not often,
Well, but I do. Can we make a plan? I would love to go.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
We can grab Janine Wilson. She loves it there, too.
Oh, yes.
This question is called the Christie, after Christy George. You know Mark George, Christy George?
I don't.
He's Bainbridge Civic Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she does the Neighbors magazine.
Okay.
The Christie is if you could interview any person who has ever lived, who would it be?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Very intense.
These are deep questions.
They are.
We don't mess around over here, Barry. We're all business.
Who could I interview? Who would I interview?
Besides Molly and me.
Go music, you go politics, you can go business. I mean, because I'm passionate about business, it would probably be somebody like a Bill Gates.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Warren Buffett.
I did Jesus.
Jesus? Mm-hmm. That'd be an interesting interview.
Mm-hmm. Don't you have one more question?
I do. It's my favorite one.
I know it is.
Arguably the most challenging one, the most complex one, the one that will look deeply into your soul.
All right, these have all been hard.
Now, this is going to be tough. What is an embarrassing thing about yourself that very few people know, and for extra credit, Barry, that nobody knows?
That nobody knows? An embarrassing thing about me or that I've done?
Either one is fine.
Well, some people know, my friends that were with me. Huh? I think it was when I turned 21. I was living down in Florida. I was at some enormous club. And do you know the song Strokin' by Clarence Cotter? Have you ever seen a white guy do Strokin' on stage in front of thousands? It was not karaoke, mind you. It was a live band. Do you know the song Strokin' by Clarence Cotter? When we're done with this podcast, I'm going to put it on for you.
Yes. Are you going to dance like you did?
Fortunately, I as I said, it was my 21st. So I had a couple of cocktails. And I don't necessarily regret it, but it was definitely one of my not so shining moments.
Is there video?
If there is, I haven't seen it, and thank God for that.
I'm going to make a request to the employees at KMK to prevail upon Barry Jacobson to do the Strokin' dance, and then tape it on your phone. Or
anybody that was at the bar the night that he was.
We on our last vacation, sailing last summer in Greece, we put it on the boat. Had a little bit of fun with it. Oh my
gosh!
This could be a first for
we were
Best
about 2
Podcast
bottles
Ever.
Of vodka deep.
Nice.
We got a little fun.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's an acceptable answer, Barry. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's good. That's an answer that may have like visual aids. You know what I mean?
Hoping.
Yeah.
Fingers
God,
crossed.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're going after this airs. Or drops, as the kids say. I fully expect Cheryl and the rest of the gang to start pressuring you and beating up on you to do the Strokin' dance.
We did go to karaoke as an office a couple of years ago for our office party, which again tends to get a little bit ugly. And we did do some karaoke. I did attempt some Eminem. While I'm quite sure it was not very good. I'm almost positive it was not very good. It was fun. It was fun.
I declare this lightning round officially a success. What do you think, Molly?
Agreed.
This has been lovely. This has been fun. This was a good interview. What'd you think?
I appreciate you having me. It was good.
Barry, anything you're working on? Anything interesting that you'd like to push out into the universe?
You know, it's funny. We get that question a lot from different suppliers that say the same thing. What are you working on? The thing is, every day is different in our business. Every day brings new projects. Every day brings new challenges. So
what about you personally?
I'm just trying to be a quieter, better me.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. Quieter, better me.
You know, some, especially in the office, or my wife would tell you that I get passionate from time to time. I'm trying to.
It's so funny to hear you keep saying my wife. Well, I mean, I know it's been 3 years, 4 years. What is? Oh, I don't want
5.5,
Oh my
almost, Molly.
gosh. Because I knew Barry before PM or BM. BM.
Yeah.
Before Marty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're always working on new things. I mean, every day literally brings new projects, new opportunities, new chances to be better at what we do. So
Excellent.
You do a great job.
Molly, I know what you're working on.
Yeah. I'm not working on I'm working on the other ones. Just grandbabies.
Excellent.
Working on grandbabies. What about you, Oscar?
I mean, just the usual, just, changing the world one client at a time, one justice at a time, meeting out the justice.
Excellent.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't know either.
Folks, if you've been listening this far, it can mean one of maybe like 3 or 4 things. You either really like Barry or you really like Molly.
Your record is skipping.
Yeah.
Or you clearly have nothing else to do.
Yeah. Or you're like my dad or my mom. You're one of those
shout out Papa G.
Yeah. So do me a favor, people. Go to wherever you're listening to this, like iTunes, if you're an iTunes person, or YouTube, or or just go to Facebook. And then what you want to do is hit like or hit subscribe or whatever button you see in front of you that indicates approval.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
I'll tell you what, we'll sweeten the deal.
Ooh.
Anybody that calls and says, I heard the podcast on Gertzberg's can have $250 off of their first $1,000 order.
Is that
$250? I just made that up.
Yeah.
Off of $1,000 order.
Minimum $1,000 order, they can have $250 off of it.
Call Barry or his people and tell them that you just heard it on Best Podcast Ever.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Best podcast
I'm gonna
ever.
Disguise my voice.
No. Wow, that's a big discount. You sure you don't want to walk that back, Barry?
Nope.
You know what? That may allow you to have the Blossom Party. Bring that to your CFO.
Barry's making that money, not me.
Yours is Sunday morning?
He's
debating about it, but
yeah,
I'm just
getting
saying,
yelled.
if you go back to the CFO and say, hey, my swag now, I've just got $250 off my swag, you might be able to have the party now.
But I'm not making that money. They're making that money.
I know, but it's less than you would
If somebody
spend.
buys $1,000 worth of merchandise, we're not going to make any money. I just gave them $250. That's it. So
but I'm
we
saying
won't make
that he or she wants you to spend less. You could go back and say, I'm spending less.
I'll tell you this. I'll piggyback on what Barry just said. If you call either Barry or the Gertzberg Law Firm and say, I just listened to the very end of the Barry Jacobson episode, I will give you a credit on your legal fee of $250, but you got to spend like $10,000.
All right.
No, $5,000. $5,000.
Five.
Yeah.
Well, and since you plugged Blossom,
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you now, we'll have the KMK Blue Tent, free food, we'll have drinks and giveaways on Sunday Parade Day, just outside the high school.
Outside the, and they're doing an all access ride pass
They have.
this
It's
year.
not the first year.
No?
They always
Okay.
do.
Yeah, that's all weekend. All weekend passes.
Well, they
I
must
don't
be
know.
advertising it differently
Yeah,
this
they
year,
are.
'cause it's like the first time I
don't
ever
remember
saw
what
it.
the costs are this year.
I don't know.
But it's a great deal. If you got kids that are going 2 sessions a day,
Yeah.
it's a great deal.
That's
It is.
so
Great deal.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, then you don't have to walk around with all those tickets. You just get the
Yes.
bracelet, your money.
Or the kid's
you're
not going
good.
to keep coming back to you for more
Yes.
money to get more tickets. And yeah.
Folks, thanks for listening. Barry, thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Barry.
Appreciate
Nice
it.
job.
It's been a while since I think Barry was on our original list.
He's been on the list for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Molly's been trying to get you onto the podcast
Yeah.
for a while.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next time.
See ya.